Shalom everyone. So this video tonight will be about Muhammad again. Sorry, Muslims. Now, Muslims say that, Muhammad is actually a prophet for all people. So a prophet for everyone. And I'm going to read a few verses from the Quran now which state otherwise. The Quran actually makes it very clear that Muhammad is actually a prophet for the Arab people. And the verses that I'm going to read are actually Meccan verses, so Islamically, or according to the scripture, they were kind of revealed first. So I think I've got like 4 scriptures to read. They're not very long. The first one is Surah 14 verse 4, and it says, and this one's actually very clear, "And we sent not a messenger except with the language of his people, in order that he might make the message clear for them. Then Allah misleads who he wills and guides whom he wills, and he is the Almighty, the All-Wise." The second one is from Surah 26, verses 192 to 195. "And truly this, the Quran, is a revelation from the Lord of the Alameen," so mankind and jinn and everything that exists, "which the trustworthy Gabriel has brought down upon your heart, O Muhammad, that you may be one of the warners in the plain Arabic language." The second last one is from Surah 42, verse 7. It says, "And thus we have revealed to you, O Muhammad, a Quran in Arabic, that you may warn the mother of the towns," so Mecca, "and all around it, and warn them of the day of assembling, of which there is no doubt, when a party will be in paradise, those who believe in Allah and follow what Allah's messenger brought them, and a party in the blazing fire, hell, those who disbelieve in Allah and followed not what Allah's messenger brought them." And the last one is from Surah 43, verse 3. "Verily, we have made it a Quran in Arabic, that you may be able to understand its meanings and its admonitions." So the Quran makes it very clear that Muhammad was an Arab prophet with Arab revelation for the Arab people. And Muslims actually say that the Quran has to be read and understood it has to be read in Arabic to be truly understood. And Muslims believe that Arabic is God's, that it's God's holy language, that it is a language that God always used. Now, historically, we kind of know that that's kind of not a fact. It's not very viable. And the mere fact that, it's suggested that God only speaks, the one language, Arabic, suggests to me that Allah is kind of a new God, so to say, that he's not very universal at all, that he's, how do I put this, that he's kind of local, if that makes sense. And how many Muslims do we these days know that actually speak or write or read Arabic, besides the Arab people? Now, we should probably ask ourselves whether Muhammad is a prophet for the Jews, and the right answer is no. And we can just look and see, historically how Muhammad actually treated the Jews, and I won't really go into that, but you guys can check it out for yourselves. And Jews actually would never actually accept Muhammad as a prophet anyway, because Muhammad actually doesn't fulfill the criteria that Jews usually demand of their prophets. He was not in the prophetic race. He didn't really have revelation which corresponded with, you know, previous revelation. You know, what he was given opposed everything from the old scripture, you know, from our scripture, sorry. He never showed, or should I say, he should have showed that he was a prophet, or, you know, proved himself, and he never did as well. And he kind of should have known what God he represents, and it definitely wasn't the same God. You know, it wasn't Father Yahweh, it was a totally different God. And Christians too, I think, would kind of demand the same thing. So let's look at what the Quran actually says about the Christians and Jews. Now, I wrote down a Quran verse, which I'm going to read out. It's Surah 5, verse 51. It says, O you who believe, take not the Jews and the Christians as friends, protectors and helpers. They are but friends of each other. And if any amongst you takes them as friends, then surely he is one of them. Verily, Allah guides not those people who are polytheists and wrongdoers and unjust. And in some translations it actually says evil as well. And so, yeah, that's very self-explanatory as well. Now, I think one of the biggest criteria is that a prophet also has to, what is the word? Point to Yeshua. And in no way, shape or form does Muhammad actually ever do that. You know, in the Quran, Yeshua is, he's a totally different Yeshua to what we know of him, and, you know, totally different to previous scripture. And the stories in the Quran that are written about Yeshua are actually from Gnostic writings. Now, Muslims say that, you know, Muhammad is the greatest of all the prophets, that he's the final prophet, and that he's the seal of the prophets. And in the Quran, it's, how do I put this? Muhammad is actually very much inferior to Yeshua. In the Quran, Yeshua is actually so much better than Muhammad. And I do want to read another verse from the Quran which talks about Yeshua, and it pretty much proves from the Quran itself that Yeshua is the Messiah. Now, it says, so it's Surah 3, verses 45 and 46. And it says, remember when the angel said, O Maryam, Mary, verily Allah gives you the glad tidings of a word, be, and he was, i.e. Isa, so it says Jesus here, the son of Maryam. From him, his name will be the Messiah, Isa, the son of Maryam, held in honor in this world and in the hereafter, and will be one of those who are near to Allah. He will speak to the people in the cradle, which is a story, a Gnostic story in itself, and in manhood, and he will be one of the righteous. Now, nowhere in the Quran do we actually see that Muhammad is righteous or that he's honorable. And this, it makes me smile, because it's like, hello Muslims, Yeshua is the Messiah, hello. You know, he's, you know, righteous, and it says that he'll be held in honor in, you know, this life and in the hereafter. And that speaks volumes. So I think to end this video, I would actually agree with the Quran that Muhammad is not our prophet. He's the prophet of the Arabs, the Arab people only. And with that Yeshua is the Messiah, and Yeshua is superior to Muhammad in all ways, even in the Quran, even in Muslim scripture. And I really do pray that Muslims look into their Prophet and really turn to Yeshua, knowing that even in their own scripture, Yeshua is held in high regard. He's righteous, he's the Messiah. It says so even in the Quran. So yeah, that was my really short video for the night, and I'll be back soon with more videos. Until next time, shalom.